She told me at the baseline, yeah, and everything will be fine. Oh, yeah. She told me at the sound of the drums, to set the mood and foundation. She told me at the baseline, yeah, and everything will be fine. Oh, yeah. She told me at the sound of the drums, to set the mood and foundation.
Hey there, sweet souls. How are you? It's your Force Fairy here. Nice to see you again. And for today's pick a card reading, we are asking Spirit's advice for how to help us. What can we do to help ourselves move forward? What do we need to do? So, pile number 1, you've got the Crazy Lace, and it's green, Crazy Lace Agate. Pile number 2, you have the Blue Obsidian. And pile number 3, you have the White Howlite heart. All of them hearts. I have a thing for heart rocks. So, take a look at the cards, take a look at the piles, and pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, I will see you in your reading. Hey there, pile number 1. How are you? It's your Force Fairy here. Nice to see you again. Well, pile number 1, today's pick a card reading is asking for, well, really, let's say we're asking for advice from Spirit on how we can help ourselves move forward. So it's really about spiritual advice on what steps we need to take. How can we help ourselves move forward? What does Spirit advise us to do to help us move forward? So, as we put the intention of our question into each deck, we'll take this time to ask for Spirit guidance and advice on what steps we need to take to help ourselves move forward. Which I think is a really good question that we could really put some time and energy into thinking about, especially if you're not happy where you're at, if you're not happy with your circumstances. Happiness is a choice, but what could you do to make your circumstances, to make what you're dealing with? How can you move forward? Is the question that we're asking for Spirit advice on. So, what's Spirit's advice for how we can help ourselves move forward? Is the question we're asking. What steps do we need to take moving forward? What steps do we need to take to help ourselves, keep the waters pure? That's very interesting. It wanted to come out upright, so we're going to take it. Keep the waters pure. That's a very interesting, it's very star card. It looks very star card, almost an Aquarius type of energy. Keep the waters pure. Let's get another one out for the advice Spirit has for us to move forward. Let's get some tarot out. What advice does Spirit have for you, pile number 1, to help yourselves move forward? cards are all sticky. We're still going through a lot of humidity here at the 100 Acre Woods, which again, being so close to the woods, I do not mind at all. So, our second tarot deck, what advice does Spirit have? That will help us move, there they are, forward. What will help pile number one? Everything is so sticky. Move forward. All right, last tarot deck out. What's the advice from Spirit as to how we can move forward? What can we do to help facilitate us moving in a forward direction, not getting stuck, not getting, sort of like it makes me ask a lot of other questions, which could be for other picket cards, but one of them being, am I on the right path? Is this what I am here to do? But today's question is, what can I do to move forward if I'm feeling stuck? I'm going to read that one first. Keep the waters pure. That is very interesting that one wanted to come out upright. So, I keep the waters pure. $36. These ones are not numbered, so you kind of have to go through the front of the book to keep the waters pure. So, a complex element and force of nature, water is malleable, is a malleable influence which can transmute and transform, purify and cleanse, create and destroy, conceive and birth. In holding the intention of I keep my waters pure, we look beyond the element or deity to water as a metaphor, whose lessons permeate substance and spirit, as water is a life force that is ever present, fluent in lunar language as it moves with the tides, and the symbolic representation of the subconscious mind. The path of self-inquiry and initiation into higher levels of thought and experience asks the candidate to make the unconscious conscious by exploring the abyss of the subconscious mind. Purification first comes through identification, and in diving deep into the waters of uncharted darkness, the process of transformation begins. You will free yourself when you learn to be neutral and follow the instructions of your heart without letting things perturb you. This is the way of Mahat. It's an Egyptian proverb. The depths of the subconscious may show us our demons, such as fear, hatred, and anger, which in turn manifests in the material world through detrimental actions like tyranny, fascism, and ignorance. As we look into this reflecting pool of unresolved trauma, we must be reminded that all we will ever see, looking back, is our own reflection. For the reflection to transform, we must as well. It is through finding love for the unresolved trauma, giving light to darkness, and allowing the beating of our heart to transmute the images of the past that we can clearly visualize what is possible and move forward fluidly. Well, that's exactly what this read is asking. And this, for you, pile number 1, is spirits, and it came upright. It wanted to be seen first. Unlike Narcissus, who drowned in a shallow pool, admiring his own beauty, this beauty, your essence, is a pure expression of truth, which can only spring from a cleansed subconscious. Pure beauty hydrates the soul and reflects light in every wave. Our nightmares then become dreams. Fear becomes love. Hatred becomes acceptance. Anger becomes passion. Tyranny shifts to democracy. Fanaticism into philosophy. And ignorance into awareness. With a light heart and purified mind, even demons can transform into angels. And any prior perception of antithesis is now seen as what makes our life thesis that much more profound. In making the unconscious conscious, each ripple of purity expands into the collective, allowing for more fluid evolution to flow with a feather heart, connected to all, but attached to nothing. A feathered heart. So this card really is, the message is to really dive deep into your subconscious, to really see who you are in a pure form, to transmute hate into love, tyranny into democracy, into fanaticism, into acceptance, this negative into positive, to really take a look at your demons, to see that they are in fact reflections of you, and to accept them, to become neutral is what I understood from this, to become neutral, to not really see the good and evil, but to be able to be aware, and then to transmute fluidity. I keep the waters pure, so that's keeping a pure heart, a pure mind. I love that. And that's how you move, how you can help moving forward. This is Spirit's advice, is to keep your heart and your mind open, pure, to take in all of this information that's going around, but not to attach yourself to it, not to be fearful of it, but kind of go, that's interesting. Look at that. That's an interesting image, isn't it? Let's take a look at that one. This is meditation and prayers. Meditation. To really ask your higher self, your spirit guides, your angels, to ask the universe, to ask Source, God, to pray for a pure heart, pure mind, to be able to see the unseen. Interesting. All right, let's take a look at this one. I'm curious now. Inner vision. Look at that. Look at the colors on that. Inner vision. Let's take a look. Inner vision. Inner vision. Inner trust is greater, and intuition becomes more developed. Insight into yourself. Isn't that what I Keep the Waters Pure is all about? Insight into yourself gives you greater awareness of people and present situations. Be still, be quiet, and know. A flow of spiritual energy, and it's funny how we talk about the flow of water being mutable. A flow of spiritual energy focuses on an understanding beyond reason. The higher self becomes manifest and greater insight is gained. Intuition becomes reality. So inner trust is greater and intuition becomes more developed. So you're developing, your spirit guides are informing you, telling you that what's going to help you move forward and keep moving forward is developing your intuition, is purifying your waters, keeping your mind and heart open to be neutral. Let's see what the spirit, your totem animal is diligence, self-sufficiency, patience, motivation, progress, structure, ingenuity, and experience, the beaver. Are you, pile number 1, able, with listening to your inner vision, listening to your intuition, knowing that voice versus the voice of ego, keeping both ego and intuition, I don't want to say in check, but just being aware of both ego and intuition, being able to decipher between both, let's say, voices. And through your prayers, to be able to decipher that which is being projected at you versus your own intuition, your own inner voice, the voice of your soul. And that's diving deep, keeping those waters pure. See what the fairies have to say. A blessing of airmid. It looks like air. Sometimes the font is difficult to read, but this looks like airmid. Let's take a look. Airmid, number 7. Oh, that's a spiritual number too, of spirit, number of spirit. Airmid. I'm going to see if this is any easier to read. It looks like airmid. The fairy gift of working with herbs, medicine, plants, and their blessings. Airmid is shining one. One of the, I'm going to say, Tusla Denan. And she oversees herbal healing. At this time, you have received the gift of this insightful ability. Okay. And so you will be led to plants, herbs, flowers, and fruits that have healing properties. Give yourself the benefit of learning more of plants and their sacred properties, and to be drawn to eat well and to supplement with vital herbs, which will enliven you to bring you closer to your own personal vision of true and beautiful health. Take the time to appreciate the world of plants, which is truly the world of the fairies themselves, and grow your own healing herb garden. And know that the more you introduce these wonders of airmid into your world, the more blessed you will be. Seek the advice of those who have the herbal wisdom, and feel the slow delight of the growing world rush through your bones and blood, and knitting, healing, repairing, and regrowing. The world of healing herbs is supporting you, loving you, and ready to work with you for healing and restoration of deep, vital, glowing health. This is really taking care of your body through natural herbs, plants, fruits, and vegetables. So this is really speaking of you learning about, let's say, herbology, plants, the healing properties, and then sharing this knowledge with others. You could, as an example, if you live rurally, you could start your own gardens, sell your plants in, you can split them easily and sell them to people who want to grow, to dry them as seasons change and winter comes. Here in the north, we have a really short growing season. Maybe just start really taking a look and working with others in developing greenhouses, or working with local farmers, working with people who know about the local plants, herbs, and medicines. That's very interesting. And keeping the waters pure. It almost goes and building with this beaver, this little beaver here, being self-sufficient. Oh, as far as food production, herb production, medicine production, patience, motivation. It's not going to take a year, a season. It could take several. But this might be, for some of you, pile number one, your inner vision of being self-sufficient, of not having to rely on said, let's say, big pharma, big government, factory farms, food production. Identifications. Look at that. That's the shadow self. And loving it. And isn't that what inner vision said? Interesting. Identifications. Let's take a look at that one. 62. 62. The oracle warns, be careful of the identifications. Of course, love opens to an unparalleled of fullness and bliss. But if you identify that fullness with a person, you open yourself up to immense spaces of pain and misfortune, focusing oneself on the other to a very heavy slavery or dependence. All right. This is making a lot of sense. But the advice that Spirit has for you is to really, as the first card that popped up upright was saying, is to be neutral, to understand, know, and dive deep into said shadow self. How is it that you attach yourself, identify yourself, put yourself, whether it be a person, I mean, this card mentions a person, it could be a career, a job, a place that you're living, that you identify yourself with said place, with said person, with said job, with said title. And it's this keep the waters pure card that is really advising that you detach, that you, and it was very Aquarius, it was very star card when I first saw it. And then reading the message, it really spoke to that of being aware of your depths, being aware, going into the subconscious, cleansing the subconscious, and understanding where all of these, let's say, the negative thoughts you have, the negative feelings you have, the suspicions you have, the trust issues. And it really comes down to you don't trust yourself first. So getting into that subconscious, connecting it with the conscious, seeing that if you stay neutral, that you then don't project and identify with others, with jobs, with status, with, money in the bank, whatever. That you are okay and self-sufficient, as your totem animal says, as the beaver says, self-sufficient, patience, motivation, progression, structure, ingenuity, and experience. What are the experiences that have driven to maybe you, for some of you, moving out of the cities, moving into rural, maybe having a little hobby farm, growing, and even if you are in the city, growing your own herbs, growing a couple little, tomato plants, vegetables, this type of thing, and then wanting to do more, starting a community garden on a rooftop or in an old, parking lot, whatever the case may be. Your inner vision could be of community and not connecting yourself to those goals, those visions, but staying very neutral. I like that. That idea that neutrality is really freedom. Not to be, if something doesn't work out, let's say you put all this work into a community garden and no one is there to help you. That's fine. If you have the diligence and people will see you in that garden day in and day out, putting a certain amount of time into it. And maybe they will be curious. Maybe they will want to help, but not being really attached to if they do or don't. because this is something, your inner vision, this is something that you want to do. Interesting. Let's take a look at the tarot. The Knight of Swords are very much right beside that. Keep the waters pure. Very much detachment of expectations. Yes, self-love with the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Swords, your love and truth right there. Very Aquarius right here. Very. Five of Swords. The Five of Swords. Determination. The Tower. Something breaking down. The Queen of Swords, communicating. Contract Queen, the communication queen. And the King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is looking right at this, I'm just going to call her the herb fairy, looking right at the opportunities of community gardening, of plants, herbs, medicine, learning about this field of study. And the King of Pentacles sees value in this. He's looking directly at that fairy. Whereas this king, the King of Swords, is looking at these two aces, the Ace of Cups and the Ace of Swords. And I really feel that this is balancing out both head and heart. Nine of Cups, to become a wish. And do you see how she's looking at this image, which is of prayer, of meditation? That is her wish fulfillment. Knight of Swords, taking action towards these new, let's say, practices, ways of living. And the Two of Cups, the Wheel of Fortune, the Knight of Swords, and the Nine of Cups. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at these ones. This is the Wilder Woven Tarot. King of Swords. The King of Swords is analytical, objectivity. From great heights, the mighty osprey scans his vast kingdom below. With unwavering concentration and superb vision, he carefully considers all aspects of a situation before diving in. Holding himself and others to the highest standards, the king motivates us to be intellectually curious while maintaining a discerning eye. A glass sword pierces through a tree branch, symbolically demonstrating the mind's power over matter. That's exactly what keeps the waters pure. Talked about. Keeping, again, a glass sword pierces through a tree branch, symbolically demonstrating the mind's power over matter. Now, I'm curious about, since we're talking about swords, and that's a glass sword, that sword seems to be in a rock. So let's look at the Ace of Swords while we're in the sword section here. Realization, breakthrough, and assertiveness. At the top of a mountain where the heavens meet the earth, a pathway leads to a sword lodged in stone. The cloud above part in the presence of the blade, revealing open, clear sky. If your thinking or methods of communication have been foggy and obscure, the Ace of Swords can offer insight and clarity. Now is the opportune time to embrace new ideas and approaches. The path ahead may be rocky, but you are being guided by truth. Interesting, because that's exactly what the Queen of Swords. The Queen of Swords really talks about communication, about truth, and sometimes the truth can hurt, but the Queen can communicate in a way. A true Queen of Swords can communicate with a gaze that peers through confusion, and a confused emotion. The Queen of Swords is able to accurately address the truth of the matter. She seek this Queen's counsel if clarity is required, which is the Ace of Swords. She can see what stirs below the surface. She can see and communicate and clarify, and she's right ahead of this tower. What is being broken down for you, pile number one, as Spirit is clearly telling you was not built on solid foundations. And to be determined to seek your truth, to be determined to seek that Ace of Cups. I'm going to go to the Cups, the Ace of Cups next. The Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups, it could be a new relationship, emotional generosity, and abundant love for thyself. A waterfall, as the waters are pure, leads down to a pristine forest. Spring. In the center of the pool lies a brimming vessel made of stone. This offering of cool, clean water is a welcome relief to parched lips or an empty heart. This emotional energy around you is fresh and fluid. Be receptive to the kindness that is provided. Open yourself and allow the stream of love and compassion to flow through you. Yeah, to flow through you as you discover your subconscious, as you discover your inner vision, as you take steps with the Knight of Swords, the King of Swords, and the Ace of Swords. You have clarity, you have intent, you have intellect, you have a clear vision as to where you need to go. So what's helping you is to become, as that first card, keep the waters pure, as that first card came out. This is the one that came out upright, pile number 1, and is really telling you to stay neutral, to take in all the information as the King of Swords does, to really decipher what is going to help you moving forward. As this fairy, again, she's very much curious about the information, about learning about plants, herbs, and vegetation, the healing properties of plants, of fruits, vegetables, how to grow them. And this King of Swords, along with the Queen of Swords, and it takes me up to the Two of Cups, you could already be in a loving relationship. It could be with an air sign, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or you could have predominant air in your chart, whether it be sun, moon, or rising. And I see here the glyphs. It could be, you could have an air Venus or Mars, just from this image alone, that you're working together with love through this Wheel of Fortune. The Wheel of Fortune has got all 4 fixed signs, but this is what keeps the Wheel of Fortune, especially with the fixed energy, is what keeps you going, maybe through tough times, through difficulties, through challenges. And you're ready with this Knight of Swords to take action towards your wish fulfillment. And I believe it's to detach from that which you might have attached yourself to. If it was a relationship, you're detaching from it. If it was a job or, let's say, status, you're detaching from it. And through that, you're really looking into the purity of your true spirit to move forward. So pile number 1, what I'm seeing here is that what's going to help you move forward is to detach, to become neutral, to take a look at all the good and maybe perceivingly bad things that have happened in your life, to go through them systematically, to have learned your lessons from each challenge, to take that information, almost put it all in order, as the King of Swords does, to communicate what it is that you've learned, and then to teach others how to move forward with love, with truth, with clarity. That the wheel, and I really feel, especially with this identifications card and the wheel, this is jumping off that karmic wheel. This really speaks to me that you have completed a karmic contract, and that you're determined to move forward with truth. That maybe before, with this glass sword and this sword and rock, that maybe that, and I'm just talking about the images, that you couldn't see your sword of truth. You couldn't see what it is that you truly believed in, because you were identifying with what media told you, social media, family, friends, churches, religion told you to be. And by going deep into your own subconscious, this is what Spirit wants you to help you move forward, wants you to do. To really clarify who you are, so that you can take the steps with clarity, with I guess, confidence to move forward, to go through those towers with love, and to transmute, because that's something else that this card, the Keep the Waters Pure, had mentioned about transmuting energies. The path of self-inquiry. This is the card. The path of self-inquiry and initiation to higher levels of thought and experiences asks you, pile number 1, to make the unconscious conscious by exploring the abyss of the subconscious mind. Purification first comes through identification, and then in deep diving into the waters of the uncharted darkness, which I really see with this shadow there. The process of transformation begins, and the depths of the subconscious may show us our demons, such as fear, hatred, and anger, which in turn manifests in the material world through detrimental actions like tyranny, fanaticism, and ignorance. As we look into this reflecting pool of unresolved trauma, we must be reminded that all we will ever see looking back is our own reflection. For the reflection to transform, we must as well. So Spirit's advice to you is for you to transform your life, you must transform. And first comes awareness. With awareness comes change. As my grandmother always used to say, with awareness comes change. So with the awareness of your shadow side, of who you truly are, of what you may have attached to, whether it be a job, a person, a relationship, a family legacy, a name, whatever that means to you, a status. Once you see those shadows, that's when you can illuminate them, which will help you move forward. And that's what I see for you, pile number 1. And I'm sure I'll see you again. Take care from your Forest Fairy. Bye for now. Hey there, pile number 2. How are you? It's your Forest Fairy here. Nice to see you again. Pile number 2. Let's take a look at what Spirit's advice is to help you move forward. This is going to help you move forward. Let's get a totem animal for you. What is pile number 2's? Oh, I did it again. I turned it around. Let's do some fairies. For pile number 2, the Spirit's advice to help you move forward. What's Spirit's advice to help you move forward, pile number 2? What's Spirit's advice? Spirit's advice to help you move forward. What's Spirit's advice to help you move forward? What's Spirit's advice to help you, pile number 2, move forward? Spirit's advice to help pile number 2 move forward. Spirit's advice. Let's take that one. To help pile number 2 move forward. Spirit's advice. To help pile number 2, move forward. Spirit's advice for pile number 2 to move forward. What's going to help pile number 2 to move forward? What's going to help pile number 2 move forward? What's going to help pile number 2 move forward? What's going to help pile number 2 move forward. And last tarot deck. I'm going to move these down. Pile number 2. What's Spirit's advice to help you move forward? And last card out. I think this is called the Little White Fox deck. We'll just take that one. All right. So, first card out. Let's take a look. It looks like a sage. Let's take, or a pine cone of some sort. Let's take a look. It just says purification. So what's going to help you move forward? Pile number 2, first card out. First message from Spirit is purification. Miracle. Wow. I'm going to put this here. Miracle. Oh, this is one of the white cards. There's a couple white cards. One is, I think, Guardian Angel, and this one, Miracle. I want to read this one. I'm really getting a sense of, again, we've got purification and miracle. Miracle. Magic is within pile number 2. The true, absolute, pure magic of the Spirit is yours to manifest. Experience the joy of creation and the exhilaration of the mountaintop experience that accompanies it. Expect the unexpected. When you least expect it, a turnaround in your life will occur, so be open. So, just reading that message from your spirit guides, if you want to, spirit guides or spirit team, your angels, they want you to be open, pile number 2. Moving forward, what's going to help you move forward is to be open. Expect the unexpected. That something is going to turn your life around. You won't even see it coming, so be open. Something new, unanticipated, and exciting is likely to happen to you. Each day is filled with countless miracles. Look at those occurring in your life right now. Beautiful. Your totem animal, the hare. Intuition, moonlight, and the hare is sort of attached to or connected to the moon. Illumination, negotiation, fertility, fortune, plenty, unpredictability, haphazardness. It's almost like your spirit, I'm just going to say your spirit team. Your spirit team, pile number 2, is really saying, we have got something. You don't see it coming. Keep yourself purification. So maybe go through saging, or go through something that makes your home, your environment, your aura stay pure. Waiting for these. I don't want to say waiting for them, but expect the unexpected. That's beautiful. Let's see. Complementaries, solidarity. That's an interesting card. That's number 8. Complementaries. Let's just see what that one is. Complementaries, solidarity. The Tao, to manifest itself, splits. It is the continuous alteration of rest and movement that creates life. A game of causes and effects, behind which there is something perpetually motionless. Wisdom is coming to perceive this point of absolute stillness present in us, the eye of the cyclone. That's a very interesting card, right beside that purity card. that's very interesting, that you're keeping yourself, your spirit, your soul purified in, let's say, for some of us, I don't even know. I almost said the devil's playground, but I really don't feel that here in the 100 Acre Woods. I know that others out there watching this could feel that way. But at the same time, I don't want to even put it out there, because I believe there are more kind and pure and beautiful people on this earth than there are evils. The evils get a lot of time, a lot of air time, a lot of talk about. We do have to become aware of the underbelly of societies, of corporations, of governments. At the same time, do we have to really give our time, effort, thoughts, and energy towards that? I don't think so. I don't think so at all. And so when this complementary solidarity talks about the opposites of movement and stillness, and then the stillness is with all of the cyclone, as the center of the cyclone, as it stated, is going around all around us. If we can find solidarity and purify our own energies, this is where miracles will happen. I truly feel that. A blessing of Bridget's flame. This is your internal flame. Of Bridget's flame, 34. Let's take a look at that fairy. She's a pretty one too, 34. She chooses to bring you her gift. Now, a fairy blessing to light the darkness, yes, which is what we really have been programmed to feel. Yeah, to bring warmth to you once again. Her heart is a flame, her eyes like two green lakes, and her hair a field of gold. She is the goddess Bridget. She who unites us, she who protects us, she who inspires us, has claimed you as under her watch and protection. Bridget is a fiery goddess of flame, flame from the cleanest, most primal source. Her name means bright arrow. Very Sagittarius, isn't it? Almost as if she is a ray of light directly from the sun. And this fiery ignition is key to the birthing of ideas and ideals, and thus, in this way, she brings her fire to you, your blessing, and ensures you will be warmed, that sacred hospitality will reign, that all will be welcomed, that solar light will burn brightly for you. Bridget's fairy light is a brightness that brings warmth, new life, and even rebirth of our souls to us all. Bridget is able, with her fiery flame, to burn away within us whatever is harming us. She is able to illuminate our very best traits. She will help you, who receives this blessing of her holy fires, and this is you, pile number 2, move further into your own creative power, into healthy, beneficial ways that help people contribute from their very best selves. She oversees creativity, and creative endeavors, poetry, so that the words are spoken will touch our souls. She is a smith, so she helps us create alchemy. She brings together of differences in order to create something greater, something united. This sounds like you, pile number 2, your spirit is really telling you to find your fire within. This fairy, this Bridget fairy, is blessing you with the ability to see your fire within, to feel the warmth of the sun, which again is joy. When we look at the tarot, the sun is joy, exuberance, it's fun-loving, it's that optimism, and to keep that light ignited within you to then teach and show others how to see their own spark. This is very Sagittarius, feeling of Sagittarius and of Leo with the sun mentioning, and as well Aries being a leader, so that your fire lights all darkness. She is the fairy goddess. She has walked forward with a candle lit from a flame within her heart, and her fire shall unite and delight you, whoever receives this gift today. Blessings, human child. And may Bridget, the swan and nurturer, the sword maiden, the mother of fairy goddess of the old lands, be with you as you move forward. Beautiful. Beautiful. You are protected. I praise the goddess and the god. Interesting. This is a very interesting image. And it's funny because from pile number 1, I put the book down. Instead of right side up, I put it down so the front of the book was facing down. And I noticed this image on the back of the book and thought that'd be interesting to read. I wonder if this was one of the cards. I wondered if it was one of the cards, and here it is. So I just thought that's very interesting. So I praise the goddess and the god. Let's take a look. 38. To carry the glow of the god represents an application of the left hemisphere of the mind and the energies of science, logic, linear time, binary perception, physical strength, waking reality, and non-attachment. To live in the iridescence of the goddess represents the utility of the right hemisphere of mind and the energies of art, intuition, cyclical time, magic, ritual, dream language, and astral realm, and emotion. Finding balance in the synthesis is to live this ideal in that immersive light of truth, to find what is within through what is without, and to uncover idealization without idolization. Okay, confidence in justice and finding love and acceptance with the all are the never-ending story of the consciousness cycle of life, death, resurrection, and rebirth. What it means to honor the ideal of the goddess and the god, not as deities to worship, but rather as powers to come into relationships with. It is to honor the holographic energies of nature's forces and appreciate that which means to embody both the masculine and feminine, not as a gendered modus operandi, but as a shimmering of the various qualities of nature. This is very interesting to me. Again, and it's interesting that in this particular oracle deck, they talk about the hologram is just almost like a regular thing, right? Like we live in a holographic world where what we project out there, and that so goes against what we've been taught. This reality, it's not a projection, it's not a hologram, and yet there are sort of, as you go through, I don't know, like the little TikTok things that people say, you know, there's a glitch in the matrix, and you're watching this going, oh my goodness, I've had these experiences, or I've seen this happen, or I have a double take, or a deja vu, or a dream comes into reality. Then it makes you sort of do more thinking, research, and the collecting of other people's theories and opinions and or discoveries and experiences to then say, I just dismiss this as, or I just thought this was a coincidence. I didn't really see that I, in fact, projected this into my reality. Okay. As the rain comes down here at the 100 Acre Woods, I have projected in my reality rain all summer long. I want rain all summer long. Maybe 1 or 2 sunny days, but not enough to make the woods dangerous. So I want rain. And here it is raining. And so with that, I praise the God. This is seeing both the masculine and feminine energies, as it said in nature, in the holographic sort of existence. It's not about gender. It's not about gender ideologies. It's about energies. That is what's going to purify right below this purification card. Right beside the miracles, you keep your mind open and neutral to what is being programmed. King of Cups, absolutely. The King of Cups. Let's get into the tarot. I'm already. And the King of Wands. Look at that. We have both the opposing, both the water with the cups and the wands, but the King. It's very interesting. And the Four of Swords. Not really doing anything until you can align, I believe, both the masculine and feminine energies that are not just within you, deep within your subconscious, but that are around you as well. That you just noticing what you're doing to make your life what it is. Now, Eight of Wands. Communication and fast-moving actions. Another King of Wands. Right here we have this fire energy. Again, with the blessings of Bridget's flame, very much for you pile number twos. The Queen of Pentacles, and then the grounding of this fire. And the Six of Pentacles. Equal give and take. Really balancing out. I see those Libra scales balancing out the feminine and the masculine energies, not just within you, but within your environment. This is really what I'm picking up. And this miracle card, it's a completely white card. This miracle card is expect the unexpected. Now I want to find out what's the unexpected. It could very well be a Ten of Cups. Look at that. What is unexpected for pile number two? A Ten of Cups. Could very well be for some of you. I want to push this down. And what's beside this? The Eight of Swords. Are you worrying your mind about that which you are really experiencing? Ace of Wands. And it looks like this King of Wands wand right there. And look at all the mountains in the background. I do have to say that you're going to have your ups and downs, your successes, and the Six of Cups. Look at that. You're going to have this really speaks to me, especially with these mountains. And right above what would be the King of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is Capricorn energy. The Six of Cups, Scorpio. I've got Scorpio. I've got Leo twice. And again, this very much felt like Sagittarius to me with this Bridget's flame. There's a lot of fire. It's interesting. Fire, water, and then we have the swords with the Eight of Swords and the Four of Swords. Are you cutting with a little bit of mental rest? Of going deep within your subconscious, of finding that, the eye of the storm of all the chaos, whether it be thoughts, emotions, everything sort of like chaotically swirling around you, that you're purifying your mind, purifying your heart, really understanding better yourself, the masculine of I want to get up and do something about said, chaos that's going through the government, that's going on in, let's say, tech companies, big pharma, whatever the case may be? Or do I quiet down with the Four of Swords, quiet my mind, stop worrying, stop getting myself into this self-imposed prison? And do you see how even blindfolded she's looking at that Ace of Wands, which brings me down to the King of Wands twice. And it's funny that there's two wands. We've got two wands here and we've got two wands here. Interesting. And balancing that out with the Six of Pentacles. Let's get into the tarot. The King of Cups. And these, and I kind of call them my co-creators, like They create these decks, and I'm reading their words, their intentions, which sort of adds to what I see, because they're co-creators, right, on the table. So let's go to that. I want to go to that King of Wands first. The King of Wands, a visionary, yes, guidance, who sees the big picture amidst the swirling chaos. And we mentioned that with the complementary solidarity, the chaos, yes, of directionless passion. A dragonfly enters to provide an arrow-like focus. This powerful ancient insect has nearly perfect, I did not know this, 360-degree vision, and can adjust mid-flight in any direction to hit moving targets. The King of Wands resides above the weeds and is able to see the clear path from beginning to end. With swift confidence, he executes a strategy to manifest his vision. Wow, that's beautiful. I want to go to the King of Cups, to the next king. And we've got two King of Wands and one King of Cups. That's a lot of masculine energy, and yet at the same time, the King of Cups is a feminine element, but still a masculine energy. King of Cups. I find him to be the balanced king between head and heart. Let's take a look. The King of Cups. Emotional maturity, diplomacy, and reassurance. A broad and sturdy walrus faces crashing waves head-on. He understands the emotional escape of his world, and he is confident in his ability to balance whatever strong feelings arise. Others turn to this king for stability and support during rough times. If you've been rocked by difficulty, this card encourages you to reclaim your seat on the throne. Interesting. And it's right below the Ten of Cups. Let's take a look at the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups. This card signifies the importance of togetherness and spending time with family. How are you nurturing your relationships with your loved ones? This is togetherness, wholeness, and contentment. Interesting. Purifying. It's right beside that purifying card. So pile number 2. From what I can see, your spirit guides are telling you that to move forward, to purify your home, to purify your thoughts and emotions, to balance them out with the King of Cups, to take action, to see the long, the end game. It sounds very Marvel to me, but to see the end game, to know what steps to take, and to be able to change direction or go around, as the dragonfly has. I did not know this. 360-degree ability to see 360 degrees around and to move at, quickly. With the Eight of Wands, that's that same energy of taking action and moving quickly, but to still stay grounded. And the Queen of Pentacles also speaks to me about the Ten of Cups. She takes care of her people, her family, of her employees. She takes care of her money. She takes care if things get tough, if things get a little difficult. She'll know where to cut without harming or hurting or leaving those stranded. This is what I'm picking up from the Queen of Pentacles. To be fair and balanced with this Six of Pentacles, and right above, not doing anything with that Four of Swords until the mind is of a space that is out of the Eight of Swords and into the Four of Swords. This is nostalgia of remembering when society used to. Remember when our community used to. Remember when our family did this. This really speaks to me of really taking action with that Ace of Wands right next to it. To maybe for some of you, to be able to move forward, you have to look back at what was done. Maybe at what you can take from your childhood that lights you up, that really sends you into a new direction. And it could be against what other people, what society is telling you. And you're going, no, this feels right for me. And I'll attract and find others who see the same sort of results, end game, the goals, that of loving communities, that of sharing, that of wanting others to be able to rely on each other for, I don't want to say their needs, because that's really something that each individual is responsible for, but when you work as a team, when you work together, when you give your time and effort to, let's say, your community, you volunteer, you, take care of others as you would want to be taken care of in your old age. Let's say you go to the, the old folks home, and you're a musician. You play songs that they want to hear. You sing. You plant gardens. You read. You bring in games or chess, checkers, whatever the case may be. And in spending your time is valuable, as the Queen of Pentacles knows very well. So when you give them your time, your effort, your thoughts, your ideas, as the King of Wands, you then become a leader for your community. I really am feeling that you are a leader of your community, to take your community, your people, your family in a different direction than what is being sort of programmed or laid out for you to do. And to expect the unexpected with miracles that will happen when you least expect it. A windfall, money, more volunteers, a grant, this type of thing. And that's what I see for you, pile number 2. You're moving your family, yourself, your community forward in a way that is loving, accepting, that's neutral, that's balancing out, as this Praise the Goddess and God has spoken about. Balancing out both them, and it's celebrating and honoring both feminine and masculine energies. I want to say also with this card that you see the value in both genders and that they bring something to the table. And then nurturing that in the children that are in your community, in your schools, that being masculine, being a boy, being a man, this is what men are. I mean, I have to say this. We, as a mother of 4 sons, I see out there that masculinity is being sort of destroyed when something goes wrong in our infrastructure. I'm just talking about the road guys, I'm talking about the hydro guys, I'm talking about the garbage truck guys, there's guys out there, men, who are keeping these structures, this infrastructure all together, and we don't give them thanks. I almost feel with you, pile number 2, that you moving forward, you will see the value in both males and females. You will see the value, particularly in men. You will see the value in the nurturing, loving force of the goddesses, of the women, of the men, and value both. And appreciate both. And this is what's going to help you to move forward, pile number 2. And that's what I see for you. And I'm sure I'll see you again. Take care from your Forest Fairy. Bye for now. Hey there, pile number 3. How are you? It's your Forest Fairy here. Nice to see you again. Pile number 3. Today's pick a card is asking Spirit what will help you to move forward. What will help pile number 3 to move forward? So, we're going to get in each deck the intent of what will help pile number 3 move forward. What's going to help pile number 3 move forward? What's going to help pile number 3 move forward? What's going to help pile number 3 move forward? What's going to help pile number 3 move forward? What's going to help pile number 3 move forward? What's going to help pile number 3 move forward? What's going to help pile number 3 move forward? Oh, 3 is too much. I gotta 3 I cannot fit on. So let's clear that out. And just one card What's going to help pile number 3 move forward? Whoop. I almost lost all of them. What's going to help pile number 3? I see it. Move forward. Let's get some tarot out here. What's going to help pile number 3? Move forward. What's going to help pile number 3? Move forward. What's going to help pile number 3? What's going to help pile number 3 move forward? This one wanted to come out as well. All right, last tarot deck. What is going to help pile number 3? Move forward. What's going to help pile number 3 move forward? I see that one. And that one. What's going to help pile number 3 move forward? And one last card from the White Fox Tarot. What's going to help pile number 3 move forward? There it is. Pile number 3. Let's take a look. First card out. Interesting. See, these are just little cards that have images on them. What I get from this is it's a scarf. Looks like it anyways. Got a lot of rain here in the 100 Acre Woods, which always makes me feel good. I like the sound of rain. I don't know if it can be picked up on the microphone, but alright, so, it's to protect oneself, to hide oneself, to be invisible is what this card speaks of. So let's take a look at this one. To be invisible, to protect oneself, Trinity. So reminds me of the Matrix, just the name Trinity. So, Trinity. Let's take a look. Trinity, body, mind, and spirit are brought into line and connected for greater manifestation within reality. This is an energy of regeneration to move beyond the present into the future. The spirit of action that asks that you extend yourself. You have gone through a rebirth and you have the opportunity to express your new self in new ways. The dynamics of movement call for your juggling several aspects in your life. Now this is very interesting. When the first card out talks about hiding, being protected, protecting yourself, hiding, I almost picked up hiding in plain sight. And then Trinity really speaks of combining, of aligning heart, mind, and soul to really almost amplify your power to manifest in this reality that you might have hidden yourself up until this transformation point. That there might have been times where you didn't feel heard, you didn't feel seen, and you were okay with that. And now it's time to step out. Let's see what totem animal you have. Dragonfly. Self-acceptance, transparency, truth, metamorphosis, lighthearted, compassion, authenticity, and candor. So Spirit's telling you, pile number 3, to step out of the shadows, to really accept who you are, mind, body, and soul, to know that you have powers of manifestation within you that you might be discovering. You might be doing these little manifestations that almost like what's the word, like in plain sight, but yet at the same time no one's really noticing. That's a coincidence, right? And meanwhile, you know that you've manifested these things. All right, so let's take a look at this one. A fatal event. What? That is number 51. I want to read that one. The Oracle's advice is to live this moment of intensity for what it is. It will leave an intimate and everlasting trace in your life. Enter deeply into the present moment. Feel yourself quivering. Listen to that quiver. Let the heart speak to the heart. It happens. We only need to eliminate every obstacle to its happening. It happens. We only need to eliminate every obstacle to its happening. It is only in this way that love continues to recreate itself. I have to read that again, because that is to live this moment of intensity for what it is. It will leave an intimate and everlasting trace in your life. Enter deeply into the present moment and feel yourself quivering. Listen to that quiver. Let the heart speak to the heart. So this is right above Trinity. This speaks to me about listening to your heart, to follow your heart, and to really feel how circumstances, whether they be good, bad, or ugly, take a look at how you feel, to feel how this has made you, and in the present moment. I want to take a look at this one next. I converse with awareness. So are you becoming aware, pile number 3, that these tower moments, because this card very much reminds me of a tower moment. I mean, the card itself is called Fatal Event. Is this, and with the intensity of the emotions, it's very scorpionic. It feels very Scorpio. And so are you going through intense moments that some of you might not even think that you can get through, and yet you are? I converse with awareness. I converse with awareness. 33. That's an angel number right there. I gotta read that one. 33. Conversation is an art form all in its own, a balancing act of questions and answers, inquiry and insight, listening and hearing all at once. Combining with the variable aspects of speed, volume, gestures, body language, stress, rhythm, intonation, pitch, pausing, and phrasing, all within the constraints of a language's ecosystem of conventions. Dimensions of dialogue may vary depending on the context of how you are conversing and the relationship you have with that person you are conversing with. Initiation into understanding languages of variables, conventions, and creative power can occur through the divine art of conversation. When we are aware of how to effectively exchange ideas while also appreciating the silent wisdom of the listening ears and not just waiting for our own turn to talk and to be heard, quid pro quo is exchange for meaningful discourse and deeper connection. We are awake because we are alive, but being awake and allowing awareness to integrate with understanding when we utilize our own idealized intelligence in how we communicate, express, and converse with all we meet, not just friends or those in the inner circle. The circle of awareness and relationship expands by direct experiences. And when we navigate all conversations and relationships with the mindset of a fervent student, we may reveal potent lessons by the questions we choose to ask and how we effectively listen to the answers communicated. Emotions are a universal language, and how our emotions affect conversation can either produce intimacy or push others away. Self-awareness is a necessity for a disciple of evolutionary dialogue. Interesting. Greeting others. How you'd like to be greeted is a sense corresponds with the golden rule of treating others as you would like to be treated. Peace is then found in equal wishes for being free of disturbance, aligned with kindness and well wishes. Wishing well and meaning well can at times be lost in translation when our awareness slips and we are asleep to how we may be affecting those we talk to or at. Progression can be at times a process through unlearning and letting go of behavior patterns that dictate how you speak and defend how you hear. Mute the mind that wants to make a point and to make noise and to take note of where there's room for growth by seeing a conversational melody that balances the exchange of ideas, imagination, emotion, and intellect with the harmony of artistically idealized conversational conscious awareness. Now that is quite the message for you. Pile number 3 is that how you speak to others. It almost feels to me that when you align mind, body, and soul, that when you're stepping out of maybe feeling that you are being ignored, that you are not seen, that you're hiding in plain sight with this scarf card, it's very a feeling of being protected, of protecting yourself, of protecting your ideas, of protecting your emotions, of protecting your feelings, your thoughts, your imagination. And with conversation, and it doesn't matter if you know them intimately, if they're your family, friends, co-workers, but if you treat others as you would like to be treated, and they do not respond in kind, let's just put that out there. I know pile number 3 you're saying before is I am kind, but they don't respond in kind, and that puts me back into this hiding mode, into I don't want anyone to talk to me, I don't make eye contact, I just go to work, I come home, I'm, sort of isolated from these interactions. It's okay, don't get offended, don't get, and this is just my advice as someone who has been kind her life, and not everyone responds well to it. They're sus of it, they don't, what do you want from me, why are you being so nice, what do you want? No, this is just how I am, and a lot of people don't believe that because of their experiences. Now, if I could just, when it comes to conversation, my grandmother always said, if you find people fascinating, they'll find you fascinating. Asking those questions with a pure intent of just wanting to know, right? Taking their answers as truth. If you're sus of their answers, you already have projected your, I'm just going to call it sus energy, your, it's just sus energy, it's just this energy of I don't believe you. And that comes from trust issues, not being betrayed, not being truthful yourself, lying to yourself. And this is where you think everyone around you, and this is what you're projecting, right? Everyone around you is sus because you in fact are sus. And then they get that off of you, right? If you want, pile number 3, this is really interesting, that, and especially after a fatal event, maybe expressing the losses that you have experienced, asking questions of those. Have you ever experienced a loss, whether it be loss of job, a loss of a home, a loss of a relationship, a loss of a parent, a loss of a child, whatever that may be, to you, pile number 3, that when these really powerful events happen, as fatal event advises, and that stay in the moment. What do you feel? What does your heart feel? And then maybe with the I converse with awareness card, that you express it, and not in a victim way, not in a way that you want others to feel sorry for you, but just speaking the truth, aligning with Trinity, heart, mind, and soul. And then with Dragonfly here, the self-acceptance of what you've been through, of how strong you are, of how being proud of how I got through these adversities, and this is how I did it. And conversing with people, you might find those that have gone through similar experiences, those that have experienced these betrayals, these, tower moments with a loss of a job or a parent or a child or whatever. See what the fairies have, and communicating that with awareness. A blessing of time. Look at that. That's a beautiful card. A blessing of time, 29. The fairy gift of expansive time, sufficient to do all that is needed, full enough to experience all joy. For fairy beings, for us all, the truth, time moves in cycles and patterns that are inherent in nature and the cosmos. When you receive the gift of fairy time, you will slow down and yet be able to do more and easily, for the stress of the human's clock hours will fall away. You will smoothly navigate the time available to you, and the pressure of what must be done and by when will be solved by time expanding in amazing ways. For fairies have this gift of time bending and shaping, and they offer it to you now. Fairy friend. Interesting that it's right below the I converse with awareness, of being aware of how you can, in a conversation, make time go fast or slow, of how you speak. Sometimes I'll do reads and I will speak very fast when there's so much that's going through my head. I speak very fast, and other times I'm very quiet and I speak slowly. So that very much speaks to the blessing of time, fairy, that fairies don't adhere to our clock time. Neither does the cosmos, really. Interesting. They offer you this ability to be able to sit within and expand within the expanded hour, knowing that there is sufficient time for you to do what it needs to get done. So you may focus more on what is more precious for you to do, most worthy of your thoughts and energy, and know all will flow. When this fairy blessing comes to you, there will be a flowing quality to the days, a sense that all is unfolding and that all is well. You will have opened up more time, and in a healthy, meaningful way. You will find the time to care for your own self, to share time with your friends, to celebrate and to love. And all that has troubled you and pressured you will come more easily to you now. With this gift, when used well, you can complete beloved projects, spend your days doing what you love, and have nights filled with company and love, or peaceful solitude and rest. Let the fairy gift of expansive, supportive, and magical time be yours, and feel the gift uplift you and give you the freedom of hours that belong to you. Blessings of fairy time to you. Friend, this could very well be, if you lost a job, now you have more time to do the things that you love. I just noticed that it looks like she has a dragonfly on her chest. I don't know if you can see that. I'll see what I can do in editing to really see if you can see that. Interesting. And it's that of time. So let's take a look at the tarot. 8 of Swords. A mental prison, and it could very well be from this fatal event. 7 of Wands. Very much feeling defensive and curious. Do you see how he's looking? He's deciding. That bear. Do I want to go after that sweet honey? And the 5 of Wands. I love this 5 of Wands with the ants. All right, let's take a look at the Wheel of Fortune. The Ace of Cups, yes. Self-love, which is really what Trinity and the Blessing of Time. Fairy. 10 of Pentacles. Pile number 3, and the Knight of Swords. This is really seeing your worth, your value, your 10 of Pentacles through your self-love. The wheel, and it feels like you're jumping off this karmic wheel and doing so with intent with the Knight of Swords. I want to see up here. Yeah, there's definitely a death process going on as we have the fatal event, as well as the death card, the 5 of Swords, and do you see that truth, the hurt that it's caused? And yet I see the 4 of Swords, which is resting of the mind, right? The Page of Pentacles, learning from these lessons, and the Page of Wands, looking at that 5 of Swords, and the Death card. All right, we've got the 5 of Swords and the 5 of Wands. So you're going through the 5s, pile number 3, and with that, these are challenges that, as the student cards here, curious about what it is that these tower events, this transformation is teaching me. What am I learning? How can I get these lessons to grow with me? Am I, these questions that you might have as to why this happens to me. And if you can find through these challenges the lessons within, this is what's going to help you move forward. So, let's take a look at the 5 of Wands. 5 of Wands, competition, quarrel, and variance. 5 ants from various colonies climb up and inspect a dandelion. They each have unique desires for the plant's beautiful seeds, and a conflict feels imminent. You are being asked to listen to the opinions of others, which is where I converse with awareness comes from. Yes, be open to their ideas and suggestions, even if you disagree. By listening, you can sidestep a conflict with potentially serious ramifications right below the Death card. Interesting. The Knight of Swords. Interesting. I want to go to the 7 of Wands next because I've got the wands here. The buzzing of a honeybee hive has caught the attention of a curious black bear. The bees have worked tirelessly to build their home, and they will defend it against any foe that challenges them. Is there an external obstacle that threatens your creativity or your spiritual pursuit? Perhaps someone wants to unfairly claim what is rightfully yours. Set clear boundaries and hold your position. Stand up for yourself and what you believe in. Pile number 3. And I'm really going back to this and converse this, like really make it clear. This really speaks to me of Queen of Swords energy. I converse with awareness. I know exactly what I'm saying, how I'm saying it, the intonation, the tone. I know what I'm saying, the intent in behind what it is that I am saying, so that you can understand that I'm defending that which is mine, that which I've created, that which I have earned. interesting. And it could be we're with others in family, as we have the Ten of Pentacles. It could be at work. It could be within your community. That the ideas, let's say you sit on a board that has to do with, I don't know, parks and recreation, right? It reminds me of my son is, boy number 2 is watching Parks and Rec, so that's funny. But you're sitting on a board and everyone has their own ideas. And again, their own agendas. And you can, with this Converse with Awareness card, you can see it, you can feel it. Maybe you've been just on this board of whatever, being very quiet, showing up, doing your job, and listening, and taking note of the intent behind each individual that's causing, I don't want to say drama, but it's causing conflict, right? 8 of Swords. Let's get into the swords. 8 of Swords. Self-imposed imprisonment, negative self-talk, and victimhood. As if paralyzed, a cardinal sits motionless on the icy branch. The twigs surround the crimson bird are too thin and sparse to contain it, yet it feels trapped. Convinced of the hopelessness of this circumstance, the cardinal has given away its power. The 8 of Swords calls to attention its self-limiting talk, motivated by fear of pain or loss, an inner critic that may hold you in its place. But its grip is not as strong as it appears, as at many moments you are free to fly. And when it's right above the wheel of fortune, you may have felt imprisoned, you may have felt invisible, you may have felt there wasn't enough time, you may have felt that no one listens to you, you may have felt really out of balance, but the wheel, you are jumping off this karmic wheel. This wheel is turning, and I really feel it's in your favor right beside this Ace of Cups and the 10 of Pentacles. You have to believe, the 7 of Wands, hold boundaries. You have to believe in yourself, in your knowledge, in your determination with the 5 of Swords to transform who you were into who you are learning with the Page of Wands and the Page of Pentacles of who you are meant to be. To align heart first, because I see this little heart, mind, and soul into that. And that takes time. And it's funny how you have the blessings of time. This time fairy, it takes time to really dive deep. It takes time to see and feel how others perceive you and why that is. Oh, pile number 3 never used to speak up. Why are they speaking up now? Oh, pile number 3 would always let us use their ideas and not say anything. Pile number 3 was always there, but we never really heard from pile number 3. And now you're standing up. This is the center of the tarot. I've got like my oracle section and my tarot section. This is the center of that read, of this part of the read. And right below it is the 10 of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups. I really am feeling that your spirit advice for how to move forward is to speak up. Pile number 3, speak up for yourself, put up firm boundaries, communicate with awareness of what you say, how you say it, and of course, speaking truths. That you are going to have people who are going to disagree with you, and that's okay. Because you know in which direction you're going to go. And as well, with listening to others and their, let's say, difference of opinions, of the ways that they do things, you are also the student as well as the teacher of learning how to apply these ideas maybe to your life, and then you find out, no, that doesn't really work for me. So then a boundary goes up. And communicating effectively when you're in alignment. And that's what I see for you. Pile number 3. And I'm sure I'll see you again. Take care from your Force Fairy. Bye for now.